Wait, did Lewis Hamilton just give up? The man who once ruled Formula One is now hoping to barely sneak into the top 10 in Saudi Arabia, a 7-time world champion. Now aiming for P10? No more talk of wins, no pole positions, just survival. Something's seriously wrong at Ferrari, and it's not just the car. This isn't just a bad day. This could be the beginning of the end. So what in the world is going wrong with the most decorated driver in F1 history? Let's find out. The sun may have set in Jeddah, but the spotlight on Lewis Hamilton has never burned hotter. Friday night. Second practice. The moment where teams show their true pace under race-like conditions. And what did we see from the 7-time world champion? P13. 13th. A driver who once dominated Saturdays is now fighting to avoid a Q2 exit. Let that sink in. Hamilton was 1.1 seconds slower than session leader Lando Norris, and a staggering 6/10 behind his own teammate, Charles Leclerc, who comfortably slotted into 4th. This wasn't just a minor gap, this was a gulf. A visual reminder that Hamilton isn't just behind, he's on a completely different pace. And this wasn't because of traffic, it wasn't because of a yellow flag. It wasn't some experimental setup. This was pure lack of grip. In his own words, Hamilton admitted, "It's not the greatest. We were just struggling to get the tires working." Translation? The Ferrari SF25 may have potential, but Hamilton simply couldn't unlock it, especially when it came to the soft tires. When everyone else was flying, Lewis was sliding. And here's the painful part. This isn't new. Aside from his standout sprint win in China, Lewis has been consistently outpaced by Leclerc all season. In Bahrain, in Australia, now again in Saudi Arabia. The car might be the same, but the performances? Worlds apart. What makes this sting even more is the context. This was supposed to be the fresh start, the big Ferrari redemption arc. Hamilton in red, a historic move, a fairy tale dream. Instead, we're watching that dream slowly unravel on a dimly lit street circuit in Saudi Arabia. And then came the moment that had the F1 world holding its breath. Lewis Hamilton, the man known for unshakable confidence, mental strength, and never backing down, said this: "Normally Saturday goes backwards, but there's not much further down for me to go." Wait, what? Did Lewis just admit he's at rock bottom? Think about that. This isn't a rookie overwhelmed by pressure. This is a 7-time world champion, a driver who's battled through dominance, defeat, controversy, and comebacks, now publicly saying he has no room left to fall. That's not just humility. That sounds like resignation. Even worse, he didn't say it in anger. He wasn't lashing out at the team or blaming the setup. He said it calmly, quietly, almost like he's accepted it. And yes, he added some hope, saying they'll try to make changes overnight, that a few parts of the session felt good. But let's be real. This isn't the Hamilton who used to say, "We'll fight, we'll come back stronger." This is a driver trying to stay afloat. So here's the real question, and I want to hear from you in the comments. Is this just growing pains in a new car, or is this Ferrari already breaking Hamilton down? Smash that like button if you've been shocked by Hamilton's form this season. And if you're loving this deep dive into F1's biggest drama, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more raw, unfiltered breakdowns from the world of Formula One. And now, here's where it gets even more complicated, because this might not just be a Hamilton problem. Let's talk about the car. Let's be clear, Lewis Hamilton isn't perfect. He's 39. He's adapting to a completely new car. He's learning how Ferrari operates from the inside. But when one of the greatest drivers in history is consistently stuck in the midfield, we have to ask, is the Ferrari SF25 quietly sabotaging his season? Because this car, for all its promise, has been a nightmare to tame. Ask anyone in the paddock. Ferrari's biggest issue in 2025 is tire temperature and setup sensitivity. The SF25 has a narrow operating window. If you're not in it, you're cooked. Literally. And guess what? Charles Leclerc, having spent years developing this car, knows exactly how to extract performance from it. He knows how it reacts to track evolution, fuel loads, wind direction. While Hamilton, he's still learning all of that. The car just doesn't come to him, especially on soft tires, where grip should be high and lap times should tumble. Lewis said it felt like it just wasn't there. That's brutal. Ferrari fans expected fireworks this year. Instead, they're watching a legend fight with tire warm-up and understeer, while his teammate consistently finishes top 5. Even more telling, Ferrari hasn't brought many setup tweaks for Hamilton. It's like the car was built around Leclerc, and now Lewis is stuck adapting to a machine that just isn't his. And you have to wonder, how long can a driver like Lewis tolerate that? Because this isn't just about numbers on a timing sheet. This is about confidence, momentum, trust. If Hamilton keeps qualifying outside the top 10, if the car keeps refusing to respond, then it's not just a mechanical problem anymore. It becomes psychological. Can you imagine the mental toll of fighting your own car every single weekend? And that brings us to something very real that nobody's talking about enough. What happens if this doesn't change? Make sure you're subscribed, because what comes next might just rewrite Hamilton's entire F1 legacy. So if the car isn't delivering, if the mindset is starting to crack, and if Ferrari isn't tailoring the setup to suit one of the greatest of all time, then we've got to ask the question everyone's whispering in the paddock. Is Ferrari already losing Lewis Hamilton? Let that sink in. We're only a few races into the season, and already the magic is starting to fade. This wasn't supposed to happen. This move was hyped as the biggest driver switch in modern F1. Lewis Hamilton in red, a legendary team, a legendary driver. Two icons coming together to chase one last title, number 8. But what we're seeing instead, it's a mismatch of expectations and reality. Ferrari wanted Hamilton's star power. Hamilton wanted Ferrari's legacy, but neither side seems truly ready for the other. Lewis is used to a team built around him. Mercedes knew his driving style, adapted to his feedback, obsessed over the smallest details to make him comfortable. Ferrari, they've been building around Leclerc for years, and even if they say the car suits both drivers, the results suggest otherwise. So what happens now? Because here's the brutal truth. Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari to fight for 10th place. He didn't leave Mercedes, his home for over a decade, just to be a second driver. And if the performance doesn't turn around soon, if he keeps struggling to make Q3 while Leclerc fights for podiums, then maybe, just maybe, we'll start hearing whispers of regret. Regret from Lewis, and regret from Ferrari. The fairy tale could become a nightmare, faster than anyone expected. And if you're still watching, that means you're as deep into this drama as we are. So hit that like button if you think this story is only just getting started, because trust me, it is. So now we look ahead. The pressure? It's no longer just on the car. It's no longer just on Lewis. It's on Ferrari as a team. Because they made this move, they chose this storyline. And now the world is watching to see if it completely unravels. Lewis has already said it. He's just trying to get into the top 10. And that's not humility, that's resignation. If he misses Q3 again, if he finishes behind midfield cars in the race, then this weekend could be a tipping point. Not just for his confidence, but for how the world sees this entire Ferrari-Hamilton project. And let's not forget, Carlos Sainz is watching. Fernando Alonso is lurking. Mercedes is regrouping. This isn't just about performance anymore, it's about positioning. Hamilton came to Ferrari to write the final chapter of his legacy. But if the SF25 keeps under-delivering and the team can't respond fast enough, that final chapter might not be a glorious comeback. It might be a cautionary tale. So here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. Did Lewis Hamilton make the biggest mistake of his F1 career by joining Ferrari? Or is this just the rough beginning of a much greater story? Drop your take in the comments below. I'm reading all of them. And trust me, this is going to get spicy. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe for more raw, honest, no-fluff F1 content like this. And don't forget to smash that like button so more fans can join the debate. Because whether you're Team Lewis, Team Ferrari, or just here for the chaos, one thing's for sure. This season just got real.